lot of times what happens is that we'll go into doing some healing, and as soon as maybe we have an understanding of what's going on, or we have an approach that might alleviate the symptoms, we dress the wound and we move on and try to ignore it. But unfortunately, the thing that happens is that even if the wound heals over, even if things look okay on the surface, below the surface, the toxicity may still reside. That wound or that illness or that dis-ease still needs addressing. And this is a thing about healing that we don't speak much about because, especially here in the West, healing is often thought of in a reactionary manner, right? Something happens, something goes wrong, something breaks. We rush to go and fix it, to rush and go to heal it. But even when we heal it, what we typically will do, um, again, more so Western practices than Eastern practices, what we'll typically do is address the symptoms. We'll address what we see going on, that initial thing that's giving us discomfort or pain. And so in that, we'll address that, but we won't always look underneath and see what caused those symptoms. A lot of times we'll slap band-aids on wounds and keep it moving and not pay any mind to what's happening underneath, and find out later on, much later than we need to, that there was an infection or that there was some sort of thing within the wound that needed to have been addressed. And so the thing about healing is that it is more than just a reactionary aspect. Healing can be and should be a prolonged practice within itself. When it comes to healing, it starts off initially preventive. How are you taking care of yourself? What are you doing? Whether that's some type of self-care practices, whether that's taking vitamins and multivitamins and knowing what your body physiology needs, all of these things apply to healing. So if you start off preventively and then you move on to maintenance, maintaining that homeostasis of well-being, maintaining this baseline of being good. I'm doing all of the preventive healing, so I'm in a good state, and I want to just maintain and prolong that for as long as possible. This is also part of the process that is true healing. And then once we move on from that, this is when we come to reactionary. This is after having maintained homeostasis, not much is going to go wrong. And when things do go wrong, then you address it, right? You can break a bone and now we can address that. Or you can eat something and get some sort of food poisoning and now we can address that. But if you're maintaining the homeostasis and the balance all along, then you should have minimal problems. If you started off initially preventively, then you should have minimal problems. Most of the times here in the West, what we do is we only focus on the reactionary. Something's going wrong. Let's deal with that. Keep it moving. Now we got to go and hustle or whatever else we are prioritizing over our own healing or well-being. Because out of those old things, out of those old wounds, even things that we may have topically healed, there may still be underlying root cause issues that need further healing, that need further transmutation, that need further understanding.